But so yeah. Cool things happening. Yeah,
Such cool
every
things.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think about what Otto was saying. Like tools is. I think to bring new tools that has a certain point of tolerance that are more healthier for
Mm,
society. Maybe I don't know,
mm,
but it's the same. It's always the same. But like okay, I was using Italian cheese today for
mm-hmm.
a sandwich. How how no no emperor ever could do such thing like that. Like, okay, bring me Italian cheese. I am in Costa
Yeah.
Rica.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's
yeah.
like
Yep.
we're living already. We're
Dude,
already living in a very
I think
comfortable
about that all the
situation.
time when I like the amount of weed I smoke. I was like, damn, I'm smoking more than like kings, like Egyptian
Yeah.
pharaohs. They got nothing on me.
Exactly. Definitely, because it's a lot of luxury that we are given for granted, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of good things that we
So
have, and
in
but
New
and
Zealand,
yeah,
yeah,
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say in New Zealand, if you're on welfare here in New Zealand, you are in the top 4% of the world's richest population on welfare in New Zealand.
Mhm. Hmm.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
It's crazy. Yeah.
And the people in welfare are they comparatively they're poor comparatively, so they feel really poor. It's like everybody's got things but they don't.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But in actuality, they're the top 4% of the world's population. It's just like, how do you explain that to somebody? Like, you're actually not poor, dude. You're fine. Go live on grasshoppers and then feel sorry for yourself.
Well, I think the numbers given it that way never reveal like reality of
Hmm.
societies. Like it's
Yes,
just
yes, yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
about certain numbers, and they okay, we're winning, we're doing good, because it only measures the
Indeed.
the growing of the markets and how much money we make this year, and that's all. That's everything.
Yeah.
Uh, right, but
Well,
yeah, it's
you
Not
know,
actual well-being with,
I was sitting
with the.
here thinking about like how to connect all of this because like you know the situation of being on the internet like it's extractive, like every social media site is extractive of your attention. It's like built
Mm,
not to like promote like your voice or your ideas or whatever it's selling you. It's really there to suck and take away from your attention. Like everything that it's telling you, it's like doing the opposite. And so like, but like this is like
mm,
kind of like the condition that we're in. It's like these things that are defined for us that we find ourselves in it. And it's like we're all on a treadmill. We're all like hamsters in the cage on a treadmill. But like what me and Minds Gaming are suggesting is like, oh, let's hijack it, and even though we're on this treadmill, like let's save some juice for ourselves. Like let's store it in these things called tokens, and like later
yes.
maybe there'll be something.
yeah, and but I
Yes.
think
Yes.
in the from a it's I think it's that, but from a different angle,
Hmm.
because if I if I just try to do things because I want some juice,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
I'll end up doing replicating the same patterns, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as
I think that's
society
what
is built
I
right
think
now, because
that's
competition.
I think that's the problem with all the crypto like apps because they based it on like this like competition for the coins, and then it creates like this very stratosphere. Like I remember one of the first ones, it was called Steam It, and then there was like people that had tokens, and there were people that were like trying to like, first get in, and it was like so hard to get in because like everybody who had tokens, like it actually, even on the system, it meant more like if you voted on something because of based on your tokens, your vote like had more weight than like 1,000 people, like, you know what I mean, because it
Yeah,
meant more in
yeah.
tokens. So like a whale,
And
if
that,
they voted up on your thing, oh, then you get like $20 worth of
yeah,
tokens. But you could get like 1,000 people liking your stuff, but you only get like $1 of tokens. And it was
yeah,
like created this like
yeah.
strange,
It's the
strange,
same,
yeah, strange
but
dynamics.
worse.
Yeah, yeah,
But
Mm,
like if you analyze these other apps like Sora or Sound is it works very very well and
okay.
everything, but it's just like kind of a, I think Bandcamp on Web3 will be amazing,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know, because because they have all these marketing strategy inside the platform and everything, but it's at the end is the same, is getting there into competition for tokens, is not
Yeah,
anymore about the music.
yeah.
If you're a musician and you have
mm,
music, that's your ticket in. If you're doing something good, original, from the heart, so okay, you're in.
Yeah,
But it's not about that. So
yeah.
that's what I exploring, and it's more from the experience that I have in the field with the creative hub, that I find out that like it doesn't make any sense. We need to create something that uh, take care of the seed from the beginning. Okay, and we put it in this machine that just make money for everyone who participate, basically, right?
Yeah.
Because what I'm visualizing is a machine that never stops moving and make transactions. He has to do it all the time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So everyone gets a release, and then okay, artists get their cut, and the treasure in the center and the core is growing, so the token value is growing, and there's more energy, and how to connect that cluster of hubs to another cluster of hubs, and it gets huge.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
mm,
I really have to go like deeper and deeper, but it gets complicated. So that's what I was thinking. Okay, this is not a project that I'm competing for.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking like, okay, this is a model that we can try to apply and need a lot of improvements and changes and analyzing, but it's beyond the hub. It's something that could be applied to the hub, but uh, it's not the hub.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
mm,
But yeah, it's
mm,
just it get complicated at when you get closer to certain hubs and its particular needs.
mm,
But because it's real life, and then well, you get and see the whole picture, and it just looks like a mandala. But it's
mm,
good because you have this visual perspective of where you are in the machine. Where's your node, and what is the machine actually doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Well, and
have
that goes
right.
what we were saying earlier about
mm,
that, like, because like whether it's kind of like what we're saying, whether we realize it or not, like we're in this game already, right? Like I was saying, like the website's already like playing this game or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
at the same time, it's like what I think is so interesting is like this is like what's exciting. I still think about like blockchain and things like that, which is bad that like narratively, I mean, in a broader scope, that it's got damage, but that like the those tools that you were saying, like an economic like engine, was only like not that long ago meant for like nation states. you know
It's yeah, yeah,
and then now like
yeah,
a group
yeah,
of people could have like that same function, you know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm thinking about it, but many like I remember Solcista mentioned this in like decision making and governance could be automated also. A
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
functions that uh, could be just delegated to the machine, and we
Mm,
can focus on take care of real life community and create
mm,
music, which in my case, like particularly bad, it could be applied to whatever other talent
Yeah.
or whatever other
Yeah.
thing you want.
that's right. You
Just
see, that's the thing that makes me excited is we don't know what we could do if we put all our energy into being creative. Imagine like we'd never had to work. Any of us had to work. All
Yeah.
we could do is like just make the best poem, the best music, the best. Who knows what we would invent or what we would think of if all we had to do was think in creative and beautiful thoughts.
yeah, and yeah, not for the aim of winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just for
or
living.
or to be the best in this
No.
or to be
Well, I
famous,
was I
just
was
to just because
reading something
it's
and
basically what we're doing right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
But
were reading.
no, it was I was reading about the problem, and this was like it was written like in the 70s, but the problem with technology. So this was like the first like coming into like the digital age, but it was not like the necessarily the technology, but the economic like capitalist system that the technology is in. Meaning that like no matter what how like it's it sounds you liberation, but the real mechanism is like making money off. You know what I mean? Like that's like the only
Mhm.
purpose of it is like a some scheme to
And
make money.
it's and I think
Mm,
it's that's actually good.
Yeah,
Capitalism have this amazing feature to create abundance and to create
mm,
wealth,
mm,
which is really good, but it's not the only thing that matters. And
yeah,
on the
yeah,
other side, we have these other systems that focus more on the human and other basic aspects, and we have to take care of that also, so we can mix. I don't care if the whole blockchain is immersed in the
yeah,
capitalist world. We can use the tools and create something new and create something that is not fundamentally based on these other systems that are good but not enough. Hey,
mm-hmm.
who's there?
that's true. And this one you can't really tell who's who, huh?
Yeah, it is
No,
interesting.
I saw someone came in, right?
I
Yeah,
could hear somebody new. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
One,
yeah.
two, three. Yep, there is. There's a green, a
I don't
lime,
know who
and a
is it.
pink. What color am
I
I?
You're
You're
the
green.
I'm green as well.
no, I think you're pink. You're moving around, right?
Your Satori
Yeah, I'm moving.
yeah, Satori is purple, and there's
There's another
another
Aha.
purple. Yeah,
one over there. That it's yeah, another
This
purple.
is me.
you're
Okay, I think
More
this
like
other purple
wine.
is me. All right.
You
Okay.
went out.
Roger. Is it Roger?
So now, is that Roger? Is Roger now the
You went out.
green? The
No,
second
you're
green?
still here. No,
I'm
I'm
still
I'm
here.
here. I'm here.
Yes,
Look,
that's you. Oh, you
I'm
went through
out.
the wall.
I'm
You went
out.
through
Yeah,
the
you're
wall.
green.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
here.
We
I'm
we
here. You're
we
green also.
we have a stranger in
We
our midst.
have we have a spy.
What's
Don't
that
talk. Don't
game
talk. Shh,
called?
shh, shh, shh.
It's Roger. Don't say anything. Don't
Yeah, it's
say.
a spy. Deep state
Hey,
plot.
it's the yeah. It's spying.
There's the
What's
walls are
that
too
Who is
low.
game?
this? Who is this? Hey,
It is
hey,
Roger.
you. It's
Hey,
Roger.
yeah, it's
Hey,
me.
yeah.
Um,
So
the
can can I just say something about what you were saying there within? You see, one of the things that I think about this uneven distribution of wealth, I think that it makes problems, like I was saying to you about being on the benefit in New Zealand. Like having these differences in wealth causes problems that don't need to be there. If we all, everybody in the world had the same amount of money, right? So you could all just get on with your lives. You didn't need to eat grasshoppers or whatever. Then we would be able to focus on those things you were saying within, like those basic human aspects of life that are so important.
Yeah.
And then I think that the idea of it, the thing that I like about the blockchain is the evenness. Instead of having that the structures of wealth, that this person has more than that person has more than that person, it's like everybody's just a page in a book. There's no page in a book that's more important than another page. Every page has got something on it that adds somehow.
Yeah, yeah, and it has to do with the fundamental value of what we are as human beings.
As human
That
beings.
is, yeah, it's not nothing to do with how much I produce
Yes,
or how,
yes,
it's about what my fundamental functions are.
yeah,
But that gets a little complex in to explain into societal. Uh,
yes.
yeah, because we are talking here about mm, the information that I'm capturing as HD sensor for the totality of what we are.
Mm, hmm. Somebody said it to me once. The way they put it was, poor people's children need to eat as much food as rich people's
And
children
that
do.
is, I think, to recognize my value. You got caught.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah,
How,
I can hear you again.
are you? Okay.
You got
Yeah, I
caught.
think. Oh,
Someone
right.
told you.
Okay.
You said
Oh,
someone told
sorry.
me.
Oh, the thing that somebody was explaining to me, like what you were saying, somebody you said is really complicated to explain. Somebody once said to me, poor people's children need to eat as much food as rich people's children do. It's like,
Yeah, and if I have more money, I won't eat three breakfast because I have more money. You know,
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it
nobody
doesn't make
grows
sense.
gardens either anymore. Like if you're hungry, you need to start growing freaking your own gardens and shit. Like
mm,
poor people freaking know what gardens are. I mean, why
yeah.
aren't they growing their own shit?
Because when you're poor, because it's really hard to grow gardens, because you need to put compost in the soil and you need
Mm-hmm.
to get the fertilizer and then you need to spray for the bugs. And then, like, if you're a farmer and you've got all these things set up, it's kind of easy to do because you just go to a shop and you get this and this and you get it in bulk. But when you're a little individual doing it, you've got to go to this store for that and that store for this and this. I mean, I've lived that life and we've tried to do it. We've tried to grow our own vegetables. It is
Mhm,
so complicated when you don't know what you're doing.
You gotta
mhm,
keep
mhm.
on it. It's something that
Oh
you
yeah,
keep
I
doing. You know, I
understand.
mean,
But you don't want to
I
stay
think
poor for that long.
it's really a matter of people just don't want to do it. It's not a matter of they can
Really?
or can't do it. They just don't want to do it.
Mm,
It's too much.
Hmm.
well,
Why would you want to grow a garden when you can go down and eat a freaking BLT at the
yeah,
nearest Burger King? You know what I mean?
but if you have time to grow your garden, then that means that you have well, first of all, time, and that
Mm-hmm.
means that you're in a certain economic position to
Exactly.
to use that time to grow the garden, which is
Indeed.
something unrealistic for the most of the people that
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
will
times
need
are
to go.
changing. You're gonna have to start making time. If you haven't noticed, freaking food's running out. I mean, this isn't really a joke. It's the truth. Like people that don't want to grow are going to find out they're going to starve to death because freaking food's coming It's really getting to
What's
be a bad
happening with
situation.
food?
It,
What's we don't have any more food?
we're having shortages,
Well,
man.
well,
They're
well,
happening worldwide. I mean, people are freaking running out of food. It is a big issue. Like the actual amount of food, there isn't enough food for everybody because nobody wants to do it.
Well, I don't think so, Roger.
hmm,
I think that there actually physically is enough food, but I think that what happens that in stores they've got sell-by dates and they just take dumpster loads of food
Hmm.
and put it in the trash. If you distributed that food properly so that each person in the world was as worthy of having food as every other person, not just people in rich countries or people who live next to farms, but every single person. And if we put that amount of money into distributing our food and making our entire global population to be well nourished and healthy, I think that we would transform the basic energy of mankind.
I think we could do that by growing food too. I mean, why do you have to rely on these corporations to do something you should be doing yourself? You know what I mean? I mean, you trust people who are producing food and throwing things away because a potato doesn't look like a potato.
Or a kiwi fruit isn't, they throw away the kiwi fruits here that grow too flat. The
Right.
floor after harvest, the floor is just like a carpet of kiwi fruit that they won't pick because they're not round enough.
They
it's
don't look
like
right.
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. There's a lot of issues around that. But yeah, like I wasn't at the farm, and they are raising these pigs,
Mm,
and that is not because it's expensive to grow those pigs, and
Hmm.
it's because of the quality of the meat. Mostly, it's not because it's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
mm, mm,
Because it's
mm.
complicated. It's
It's
complicated, and
complicated. That's
yeah, yeah,
exactly
and
it.
you have to have the time, and you have to know how to do it properly,
You
and
do.
in what moment, and it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, local too. Like when you
But
have people who are willing to grow vegetables and they're stocking up. If you need a pig for a freaking month, man, there should be some kind of setup to where you can negotiate with people freaking and say, look, man, you're good at growing this. I'm good at raising pigs. Why don't you give me this and then freaking you can have a pig? You know what I mean? That right there would change the world instead of freaking going out and trying to freaking get your pork from a freaking distributor. Start freaking trading amongst your freaking neighbors and doing things the way they used to do it. You know what I mean? Stop getting caught up in all this socialist bullshit. And
and
that's
they
what it
do that,
is.
and they also have eggs because they have some chickens, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's complicated. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not like in the movies. It's they got,
Yes.
yeah, like they have like 9 eggs per day, and they separate ones and share it with the neighbors, and
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's not the same. But what happens, like a month ago we were good with food in the world, and now we don't have anymore. I think there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
manipulation in those data
Mm-hmm.
about what's really going on with that. uh, because
Mm-hmm.
here in Costa Rica is one of the most expensive places in the world,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just because of the weather, and everyone wants to live here because of the weather, so it's getting expensive and expensive every moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's all because of fake data. It's not true. The food is not getting shorter or anything. It's just getting expensive because of manipulation
Yep.
and media. But yeah, I think we can step out if we build something that doesn't rely on those practices. So that's
Yeah.
what gives me hope, is that I can dream, but now it's not only a dream because I have the tools to build it and to create it,
Mm-hmm.
so we can
Yes.
try something new. We
Gonna
can.
try something
I
different.
don't say it's gonna work. I don't, yeah, exactly. Just try
Yes.
something different and see what
Something to,
happens. And
until we
yeah,
find the
out
thing
of
that's going to
that,
work. Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna improve because it's what we have been looking in the history of humanity. This we are complaining about all these systems, but these systems allowed us to create these new tools uh, that we can use to make something new or different.
Yes. Yes.
And so we have to be grateful about the empire in a way
Well, I mean, you
also.
said it yourself, though. These manufacturers and everything are creating freaking
Yeah,
what you believe is a freaking manufactured freaking shortages. Okay. Now, any way you
I don't
look at
know.
it,
I don't
any
know.
way you
Yeah,
look at it, those store shelves are still going to be empty if it's manufactured or not. Okay. I mean, people are still going to go without food because these people that we're depending on are freaking creating a shortage that's freaking manufactured or it's not manufactured. Either way, people are going to go without food. You know what I mean? And what you're saying there, I agree with. Freaking, you build something, okay? Build it. Don't expect to freaking, or don't
yeah,
rely on these people.
yeah. It's like my friend was telling me the other day, like in his town they have like this meeting with a whole town or something. I don't know. They were deciding about the street, and he said, "Look, they were like taking a month or something to decide, and I would just take the tools and fix the street." you know, I, I was, and he was the president of the, you know, so I just went and do it. I don't expect to be, I don't need to be to have a political position to starting to say that I'm going to help my human fellows. I just started to do it, and that's it. And I don't,
Exactly.
with what you
Exactly.
have, we're doing with the tools that we already have. So it's an honest task, I believe, and
And we
and
got
it's
we got
it is
books too.
amazing.
You know, there's shitloads of books. I mean, it's not like you have to rely on these people. You can freaking pick up a book and learn how to do it yourself and freaking learn with experience. You know, if there's something that you know you need, freaking go out and learn it.
but, but I
do
really
you,
don't
do
think
you have a
there's
garden, Roger?
Yeah, I'm not the best at it, but I can freaking garden, and it didn't
well,
happen overnight. You know what I mean? You have to learn and stick with it.
What
It
do you
is.
grow? What do you grow?
I'll tell you what, the first thing I started out with is cantaloupes. If you can't grow a cantaloupe, you're an idiot. Okay, just plain and simple. Like if you cannot
We
grow,
apologize to all of you who've had failed cantaloupe. Croft is not talking to you. This is theory only.
no, this is fact.
No, you are an idiot if you can't grow cantaloupe. All right.
You are that is what you do. You start with cantaloupes, okay? I do not suggest starting with corn. Corn is a bad idea because that's something that you have to have experience with. And you have to understand how deep the freaking ground needs to be underneath the corn, um,
Mhm,
as well as freaking carrots. Now,
mhm,
once you have maybe about 2 years of experience, going on three, then you start growing like carrots and you start growing corn. That's the one thing. And you have to worry about the seeds too. There's seeds that can only be buried with like maybe a half of a thumb of distance under the dirt, where you there's other seeds that you have to put your entire pointing finger down into the dirt and put the seed in it. So you have to know how deep the seeds need to be buried.
it's complex. It is. It's complex.
It's fun
Yeah.
too if once you get
Oh
into
yeah,
it. Once you
it's
get
fun.
into it. But people don't want to do it because they got to freaking learn that stuff. You know what I mean? I can't find anybody in my family that wants to do it. I mean, my brother, he says that he likes doing it, but then he likes to go out and clean the dirt, and that's about it. I have to do the rest.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you see, that
Yeah,
is
I
the
think we
problem with humans, is that we like to specialize. And that's why we've. What happened? Have you gone?
I can see you.
no.
Oh, you can still hear me? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that we like to specialize. We like to have, okay, you be in control of the fixing the cars, and you be in control of cutting the hair, and you be in control of teaching the children, and you be in control of growing the carrots, and you be in control of getting the eggs. It's just the way we've structured society is that we've got specialist fields. And so it seems almost like a waste of time to do something that somebody else can do better than you.
Mm. Yeah, and now we have the AI or these language
Mm.
models that can start to do things, and that's why in a way that's why I'm thinking about these new models, because everybody is gonna get out of, there's not gonna be any more jobs
Mm-hmm.
very soon, probably to 2030, or
Mm-hmm.
that that's what at least they have in a schedule. But
Mm-hmm.
so what the people is gonna do, okay, they will
Mm.
have to change focus on what's the purpose of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a producer anymore. I'm a owl. I actually can do something that I like, and that's why I'm trying to build these structures, economic structures that can be used in these cases to install a new hub of whatever, carpentry, or how you say carpinteria,
Mm-hmm.
like
Carpentry.
wood work, yeah, carpentry,
Yeah.
or whatever, or growing food, but
Mm-hmm.
in a new, completely different way of doing things that is not based on the old paradigm.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So
So I think I'm agreeing with you. Are you finished? Sorry, am I interrupting you or did you finish?
no, no, I'm finished.
Okay. Sorry, what you were saying makes me think that, you see, I don't like change. I wouldn't be the sort of person who would say, we need to change this, we need to throw out that capitalism is over. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not that person. But the thing is that AI has come along and we're going to have what you say, all these people out of jobs in 2030. And
Yeah,
so, if this is the reality of what's going to happen, then we're not sitting here talking about theoretical change that, oh, well, maybe the socialists are better than the capitalists or whatever.
no.
We're actually, what are we going to do when nobody's working for food, guys? What are we actually going to feed our children?
That goes back to what I was talking about. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
you're not gonna have a choice in the matter. I mean,
indeed.
it's time to start learning how to do this stuff, because when you're unemployed and you've got children that need to eat, you're gonna
Hey, need
have,
to eat.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're not gonna have a choice. You're gonna be out there building a garden because
Mm-hmm.
freaking your children are gonna go hungry.
Well,
But
Roger, the
why do
very
you guys
first.
why but
Huh?
what I don't understand is why you guys like picture everything like in a post-apocalyptic scenario.
You
What
just
why it's gonna
you're the one that just
why it's
said that
gonna
it was gonna happen in 2030.
Yeah, but
Back in,
to lose jobs is not the same to get starvation.
it
Indeed.
Probably they will
it's not
implant a
apocalyptic.
new credit
After the Great
system or
Depression, after
whatever.
the Great Depression,
That
everybody started growing their stuff. Okay, this is something that is going to happen, and freaking if you lose jobs like you're talking about, people will start growing more in their own yards,
Mhm.
They'll have freaking sheep.
That's great.
They'll have
Yes,
livestock. It's just something that's going to have to happen. They did it after the Great Depression.
yes. But that's a good thing because what it
Right.
means is that
Yeah.
we've got a safety valve. We can grow our own food if all the shops stop selling. We
Right.
actually can do this, guys. We don't need to
But why
fear.
are they gonna stop selling? Why is
If,
like all
if,
the industry gonna stop also? No, they
well,
will be substituted by AI. Is not like it's not working anymore. The jobs that people were doing now, it's gonna be performed by an AI, and there's where these new technologies has to intervene, at least in a good way,
hmm,
trying to
yeah,
bring new
okay,
options for distribution of wealth
Mm-hmm.
and
indeed.
distribution of, uh, because it's not anymore from the jobs. It has to come from another part, which is
And
not the same. And I think that the industry is going to keep doing what it does. I don't think that it should change in any aspect, but and they are also negotiating, because I don't believe that the banking system is completely obsolete, and they know it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah, it's
mm-hmm,
not reliable anymore, and they are
mm-hmm,
printing money out of debt, and they're
mm,
it's a mess. So there's another chance to bring a new option, a healthier option, to these systems, because it already failed. So there's
mm.
another opportunity, right, to try to build something different, at least.
There's only two things that I want to do, and that is I want to learn how to garden, and I'm wanting to get better at building computers. Okay, and those are the only
Mm.
two things that I really see as beneficial for the future because that's the things that are we're going to need. And I really do believe that because like you're talking about AI and everything taking over people's jobs. I mean, it's going to happen in a lot more ways than just AI. You know, what happens when robotics gets put in place and they implement the AI inside of the robotics?
So do you think that these huge companies that are going to change jobs for AIs, they're just going to let the people go and let them starve to death?
They don't care. I
That's what
mean,
happened in Russia. That's what
they,
happened in Russia when the ruble collapsed. The
they
people literally starved to death. That was in about 19, that was the 1980s, I think. The
it,
ruble crashed and all the people took their money out of the bank and they put it in their mattresses and everything. And then there was no food to buy with it. And they couldn't buy anything with their money. And they actually literally starved to death in the snow in the streets of Moscow. That
Yeah,
was
that
how many
happens
years
to.
ago? 40 years ago. 40 years ago. It doesn't need to be technological change for us to have to face the possibility of the destabilization of our money in this post COVID crazy financial environment.
Well,
Money and paper have the
that
same
gives
value.
us yeah, that gives us a more urgency and more importance in what we're doing,
Indeed.
because if we can get that awful, so okay, we need to build it. At least,
Yes,
try to build something different. And
that's
uh,
right. I think
eh,
that's it.
and
yeah,
I mean, we've all been talking about socialism here lately too, and like when you look at everything, they want you to be set up as a workforce. That's all they care about. All right, they don't. I mean, the socialists they do freaking have the welfare state in their the corner, okay, but that's not their first priority. They don't care about taking care of the poor as much as what they do about everybody doing their job. All right, that's what they care about. So when you're poor and you're not freaking working, you're not going to be as high of a priority as what people who are working and a part of the workforce are. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you need to understand. Okay, as long as you're able to work and you got jobs, you're fine. But what about the people that are mentally handicapped?
Mm-hmm.
What about the elderly?
Mm-hmm.
What about all
Mm-hmm.
these people that freaking need the benefit? They're gonna get it, but
Absolutely.
it's gonna be according to freaking what the socialist agenda freaking says that you can get it. You
Doesn't
see
need
what
to be. That does not need to be reality. You know,
it
everybody
doesn't.
mocks me because I think that Elon Musk is so awesome. But the thing that I really think is awesome about Elon Musk is that he knows how to use the system. He was a kid who was abused and bullied. He arrived in a foreign country with a few bucks in his pocket. He slept on office floors and built the biggest company in America. If one man can do that in this current system, every man can do that in this current system. And so to point the finger at the system and say, this is wrong with the system, and that's wrong with the system, and the next thing's wrong with the system, when you've got one man who showed you that you can use the system to do extraordinary life-changing things, then nobody's really got the excuse. It's nobody's fault except our own. We have to create our own kingdom, like Within says. If you don't want to own a rocket company, you don't need to. If you want to grow vegetables, go ahead. How
Mhm.
cool. That's just great. But it's up to you to choose your place in society and then be happy with it because you can do everything from nothing to being a rocket scientist. Your choice.
And I can tell you something that's even more amazing than what you just said. Okay,
What?
there's nothing special about Elon Musk. You can
No,
be freaking just as good as what Elon Musk has been in there, just like freaking
indeed.
within the vacuum, just like
Yes,
me, just like
yes.
Satori. You know, we can all be Elon Musk's if we wanted to be.
If we wanted to be. And the
Okay,
question is, why don't we want to be? Why
exactly.
don't we want to be?
You don't have
I'm
to build a
Satori
rocket to
motherfucking
be.
D. I don't need to be
But,
Elon Musk. I'm
but
Satori
That's
D.
right. You
But
see.
like that, but like,
I
but
think
I think that's like the thing is like to declare your own, because like no one could be Satori D. Only I could be Satori D. But like the same thing is like within the vacuum, like
Right.
only you could
Indeed.
be, the best version of
Yeah.
yourself and the get interested in. I think that's also too like I think what within the vacuum was kind of saying is like and a jobs doesn't need to be dystopian. I think like that's where our minds just like more broader the narrative needs to like change to like you know we're freed up to actually explore and be whatever it is because like I think we are gonna I have this weird like fantasy of like what everybody was just saying like all basic needs are like met, but like for there's like this infinite play game where we're incentivized some weird way to explore our own like I forgot one time someone said whatever you do when you're bored is probably what you should do with the rest of your life, like the things that you do to like when you're trying to like kill time, like if it's like reading a book or playing on the
Yeah.
guitar or
yeah,
researching
yeah.
this
Mhm,
or
mhm.
or telling a
Mhm.
story or taking
Mhm.
pictures or whatever it is that you just can't stop yourself from doing. Like anytime you have free time, you're like, oh, let me go and do this.
Mhm.
And I think we'll find out is like I have that's why like when I
Yeah.
was talking about like mandala narrative, I just see like we're all like the whole world is like a sand mandala. You know how like the Buddhists do that sand mandala, and it's like every year is like everybody has their own portion
Mhm.
that they're doing, and if you're doing it right, then if you zoom out to the whole world, then it's like oh shit, look at how like connected and how vibrant and different it is in like all these different sections or whatever. Um, but because I think like people would naturally they're like I naively I have like this idea that like a certain amount of people are just gonna like farm and a certain amount of people are gonna just do this and a certain amount of people are just gonna do that, and even a certain amount of people are probably gonna be crazy killers. Like there's it's just
Yeah.
like certain amount of
Well, it
like
depends.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because one
I think you're
a
right.
great a huge part of this whole new transformation is the transition,
yeah
and I think a great way to introduce this kind of these new ideas is through mandala narrative, because it creates an artistic transition to everything,
yeah
and it's not like imposing something new. And I think pretty much we're doing it like well, we're trying to do it
yeah
slowly, right?
yeah
But the change is it's happening, but
oh yeah
it's step by step. It's not like now, like everyone is out of job, and it's not like that. but I think we can keep uh, injecting these new concepts into the fibers of reality, as Satori said,
hmm
and like uh, try to help. It's a little our little uh, grain of
Mhm.
Of
stand.
love,
yeah
of
Yeah.
love, of love.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Little
yeah,
grain of. And
yeah.
Satori, I think you're right though too, because I think that's exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be people who do grow. There's going to be people that build freaking computers. People that are freaking, people who build houses, things of
yeah
that nature. And I think that is what's going to happen. That's exactly what it is. It's just we need to learn how to freaking trade amongst ourselves and
yeah
stop.
and
You
Well,
know,
one key
yeah
point when sorry,
no
no,
go ahead
when I was into I was into all these how you call it, these about the hidden government and all these
okay yeah yeah
I like all that with my brothers, and we are like looking at this crazy stuff and everything. I think that uh it's like I don't think is there's such thing like someone in control everything. It's like I think it's so complicated because no one is like in control for real.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
like all
Mhm.
distributed, but in a crazy way. And there's
Mhm.
some guy over there without education of any kind, but
Mhm.
he owns like tons and billions and billions, and it doesn't make sense
yeah yeah
because there's no intelligence in economy. It's just like functioning as we like we're surviving since the beginning,
yeah
like as human species are surviving all the time. So we're like getting to this point and we can like make a new way of looking at things and say, okay, we're not in that position anymore necessarily, or at least a portion of population. But yeah, I know it's complex. It's not.
It,
I like how you said that because it's like the thing is like yeah, I mean I have people on my show who do believe in the one world government and all that stuff, but freaking to be honest with you, you don't have to look that far. Like the things that I talk about are like real freaking political issues where these people don't want the poor to have money, and you can find it in real life. I mean, these are like organizations, you know what I'm saying? That are like
dude.
all you got to do is read it. You know what I mean?
Tell you.
There's no secret organizations or anything of that nature. I
Like
don't believe.
the World Economic Forum, for
Right. Well,
example. There's these guys doing that, and I receive their mail all the
Mhm.
time, and I like to see what they're doing and everything, and they have some really interesting perspectives. But the thing is that they are all millionaires. They don't have real.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
don't have like real clue of what is happening
Yes.
in the slum in
Yes.
Nigeria over the
Yeah.
sea. They don't
Yeah.
have a fucking clue about it. So they're
Billions and
I'm
billions
pretty
and
sure they
billions
have
and
a
billions.
really good they have really good intentions, and they have a really good plans also, but it's not like it's completely out of the real what's reality.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Mhm. Mhm.
well, for me, it's like the most insulting thing that I think ever happened in the 20th century was they gave Henry Kissinger a freaking Nobel Peace Prize. Okay,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
now
Yeah.
now everybody here in the United States thinks that that man was just all that in a bag of chips. Okay, but this man literally made a freaking UN resolution that freaking made it to where it was harder for people in third world countries to freaking take care of their families and freaking get an education because he wanted to stifle them politically so that they couldn't affect what happened on the world stage. He
Mhm.
literally he
Yeah, well,
literally he literally did that and they gave him a Nobel Peace Prize.
yeah, I think
Well.
the political ledger in society is a bit external of what we are doing right now. Like the access we have to economic tools.
Yeah.
It was actually the key point to be able to make a revolution, right? And that's what we have. That's the tools we are playing with. It's very serious, actually.
Yeah.
And uh, yeah, I think the political stage, the political class, it's getting out and out of the importance that it used to have. You
Yeah.
know, because it makes
Yeah. Do you
it's
think
Mm.
like
any
naturally
politician
we're
could do anything near what I could do with web sims? I doubt it. They wouldn't have a clue
yeah.
what to do with web sims. Nothing
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, and it's
Mm.
another world.
Mm.
It's another world that it's been
Mm.
built, but naturally selected people because I didn't choose to be here. You know, I just appear here. To be
Mhm.
honest, you know, I didn't well like okay, my career path is going to lead me to the Web3 world. I didn't even know that this exists like
Yeah.
6 years ago, maybe. But you know, but it's happening because I think naturally we get in these positions, and it's a lot of power, and we have a good heart, and I think we are trying to do what we can, but it's really powerful, and I think it's so deeper than politics. It's way deeper than politics. Politics from certain point it's going to start to it's already doing it, but you know
Yeah.
there's what they call like the esoteric center or the kernel, you know, where you know people who knows how reality is built make little influence into what's going to be projected, and politics is not in the core, definitely. You know, it's a fucking theater outside.
Mhm.
It's a
And
joke.
they just try to make a good role.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
actually a joke now. Like if you really take politics serious today, man, you know, I mean, you got to be worse off than a person who can't grow a cantaloupe. That's all I got to say. Yeah, you
man,
know,
man,
So
and
what
still is a
about
and it still is a tool that
Yeah.
could be used in a good way, but you know the problem is that the mechanism is so you know messed up that they do all these crazy things and run with it. And, you know,
hmm
but yeah, that's uh, something
see
we're dealing with.
the thing about what you're saying about the political class, I think, is that the words that you're choosing to use are
they
very, very polite.
they can't grow
I
cantaloupes.
don't know that you should call them.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think they're psychopaths. I
No, they
think that they're mentally ill. I
the
think that they have
story's
a
right.
completely
Story story's right. They can't grow cantaloupes. You,
Well, but in a period of time to get into those positions, you really needed to prove that you were capable of doing. What happens is that as we run into history, we realize that the people with uneducated people get into those positions, and
mhm.
that's the main problem.
See, that's
Because
what I'm
I
saying.
remember, we have a really good president in this country. I remember one that was actually good,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy didn't do shit, just
Mm-hmm.
didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Hmm.
He doesn't move anything, and at the end of the period, the country has money, and we were like, what this guy does, he didn't do anything. But yeah.
Mm,
yeah, yeah,
And we were winning for the first time in political history in this country. But I think it's uneducated people that to get to those positions because of greedy.
yeah,
They just getting there because of the money, or because of the, this dark business or whatever. But it
mm,
doesn't have anything to do with its purpose. And I think it's a good tool, and it was a good tool. I think it's still there's a lot of things from politics that we have to rescue and
yeah.
implement into these new
Well,
systems, definitely.
that's kind of like the the phase of what a DAO can be. You know, we're talking about tools, but
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
DAO of like having some kind of like basic rules of like governance in disembodied spaces, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it's like the simpler the better, and then like it's more about like empowering the people. Like I think a lot of times we have all of these like rules and all of these like stuff is because we're afraid of like people. um
And see, when that's what I was saying to Bob Dub just now. Like when you said, I don't know if you realized that that's what you were saying, but like when you said they can't grow cantaloupes, that's metaphoric to me too. Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's exactly what the problem is. They can't grow cantaloupes.
yeah,
You know, it doesn't matter if it's cantaloupes or it's politics. They just don't know how to do it. And
yeah.
it's like what, like within the
It's
vacuum
basic
was just saying.
it's
It was
basically a
funny.
system that
Yeah.
rewards.
No,
No, a system that
yeah,
rewards by bad behavior. Like if you steal, they give you
yeah,
a gift because you did it. Something like that is
yeah,
how it works.
totally.
Politics
You
is
were saying, etc.
No, okay, so
politics in the first place is supposed to be about freaking money in the first place. You know what I mean? About helping with trading goods and
yeah,
services and stuff like that. Like it's when you talk about the money in your wallet, that's politics. You're talking politics, and that's the way it used to be referred to in the old days. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's more related to energy and technology than politics. I think that money is just a representation of energy, and now we have systems that can distribute energy. Forgetting about tokens and all of that, I think that's is just a phase
mm,
of this. Tokens is just okay, like to get used to it. But in my head, it's all about energy. It's just energy, flowing energy, and we need to make mechanisms that allow to distribute and uh, generate energy efficiently. And it's pretty much about that. And politics comes to place when we need to behave to each other. And like in the communities, I think, in the real ones. You know what I mean? Like, hi, are you
yeah,
guys there?
yeah. I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. So it's, yeah, energy. energy
Yeah, you
energy
gotta give
flux.
me a second. I'm having some issues. I'm